Hey guys, Sunday, January 12th, 2025. Let's see what the Black Widow wants to do this week. So far, uh, oops, January 10th through the 16th, colder than normal temperatures will continue over much of the U.S., interior U.S. in the next few days, lows of 10s to 20s. So, gonna be on the high, as you can see on the model, the 10th, and somewhere around the 13th and 14th. On this model, it shows that the weather peaks a little bit here and then it kind of dips into the 18th. And you can see that this Bollinger, I call it like a Bollinger Band, but this is kind of like historical 40-year range. The dotted gray is your 30-year normal, so it's kind of above it, pushing a little higher, but not too over extreme. Just kind of oscillating for the month of January. So let's see how it's going to play out for the weather buddies. Want to include this? You kind of have an idea. It'll be a little cold over here in Nashville. It snowed the other day, and it's already dried up. Interesting. It's really quick. Let's look at our commitments of traders report, and let's look at retail. As you can see, retail is starting to buy. Getting some exposure now to the long side. Commercial, large speculators are also buying. It didn't do a big move here. I would like to see at least large speculators get to minus 55 or at least minus 65 in regards to position to see what's going to happen from there. If they're going to continue pushing higher. Look at commercial. They've been hedging, and I would like to see commercial at least get down to 50,000 in regards to position. Once they get all the way down here, hedging, I would like to see if they're going to continue or turn around. That means that nat gas should be continuing going higher. Okay, this is our Elliott wave. There's a few things I want to go over here. So this green line is our regular seasonality average projection line, and you see that it's showing down all the way to, you can say, the 14th, maybe the 25th of February. And then it kind of bottoms and it goes up. Now this dashed gray, it's an inverted of the seasonality. So I wanted to see if, because it's obvious that nat gas is not going lower. It's kind of grinding higher. And it looks like it wants to go higher. So I'm curious to see if it's just following the seasonality in an inverted cycle. So today, today the 13th, it shows that there could be a pullback into the 17th and then kind of peak, pretty much the opposite of what it would do on the downside. So that's first, that's new, that's included here. Stokes unwinded here for a little bit, and now they're kind of waking up again. So keep that in mind. The bias is to the upside. You can see that right there. Other thing I wanted to show you in regards to time clusters. There was a time cluster around the 9th. We made a high on the 10th. So these are possible turning points. So keep that in mind. If Monday comes and there's I don't know what gap would happen if there's a gap to the upside. But if there's something that turns starting, Sunday night open or Monday, whatever, then these are clues that maybe they could be a turning point, but really too early to tell. But I know that the averages seasonality inverted. There's a probability that could play out. Next thing, MACD. It looks like now it's turning up, and the ADX is positive there. Now, in regards to Fibonacci extensions, dipping in from here, we're back to our 61.8, which is at 398, pretty much $4. Now, it looks like regards to closes, we have a higher close here. In regards to our oscillators, you can see that it's not that much of a, if you look at it this way, that we made a high here And now we're kind of maybe like a double top, if you call it, if you ask me. But the histogram here is a little lower. So could that be a technical divergence? I don't know. I'll let you decide on that, but kind of looks like it to me. What that means, maybe this is a dead cat bounce and it'll come down. I don't know. Just me speculating, but we'll see how this is going to play out. Let's go put this back to our Stokes. And you can see, before I even do that, let's get our Fibonacci out of here. You can see that we still on a wave 3. No wave 4 yet. It's 366 all the way to even 347. But still pushing on a wave 3. So possible wave 3 is going to go higher. Let's say we have a gap open to the upside, maybe 422. And if it's extreme and it's going to continue going higher, here's your final wave 3, possible wave 3, which would be 519. Okay, so now let's look at our stuff. This is the target I have, and we already hit it. Could go as high as 407, even all the way to 422. And this is a possible turning point, which is the 17th. So keep that on your radar. And also on the ellipse technique, we're right at January the 13th. So there's a lot of things coming up on the 13th in regards to techniques that I use. One, I'm experimenting, and so far it looks interesting, and it happens to line on the 13th. That's a Gann theory that I'm experimenting. So I don't know. I'm just going to see how it's going to play out when we get the open and what's going to happen on that day. But the 13 is interesting. Also, in regards to my other seasonality model, they peak. But, maybe I'll probably show that in another clip just to kind of show you what I'm seeing there. But keep an eye on for the open on that gas. Other than that, anything else? This thing could continue going higher. As you can see, this inverted seasonality model, it could probably follow this as long as there's demand, and I guess it's super cold and all that good stuff. Then maybe this thing could continue chucking along to the upside. Okay, so this is a chart that I haven't used in a while, but I wanted to kind of see what I have here to see if there's any clues to help us in forecasting. So far, this is a mirror cycle, and it looks like it tops somewhere around January 31st, and then it kind of pulls back to the 11th, and then you get this, you get this big rally to the upside. So let's see how that's going to play out. Let's go to the next one. So these are Gann speed lines, and we're somewhere around here. So we got 403, we got 421. Let's see, we got, zoom in here. So we got 403, 421, and then you got your 300, which is 439. Those are targets if you wanted to have for the upside with the Gann speed lines. I think this is the same thing, is it? Oh, no, these are different. So here, you got 405 and then 436. That's a 200%. Keep an eye on that. Let's go to our next one. These are Fibonacci extensions. So you got the 412, 424, and 439. That's your 300 extension. So these are possible targets, but then the big one will be the red ones. Let's go. This is the Dewey cycle on average, and you can see that now it peaks, and that's right now pretty much that 13 and 14 is coming up a lot. So just be on guard. It all is going to depend on the open. We get this big gap up, and then if it starts slamming down, it's going to be interesting. But if it just opens normal, hopefully not a gap down, because if it's a gap down, then obviously it could be where the turning just came in. So the Dewey cycle on average is peaking here, and then it goes down to like February. You can see that that's a combination of all these Dewey cycles that I watch. I haven't seen this in a while, but it's interesting that it's all kind of accumulating here. And then these are deltas. So there's two here that are peaking, or you could kind of call them like vector points in a weird way if you want to think of it, because I've mentioned that a lot. They're pretty much like turning points. You can see like here, there's a turning point there, came back down. I mean, it's not perfect, but then it catches some. Here was a little choppy, but just to kind of give you an example. And then the Dewey cycle with the delta kind of lined up here. Somewhere around, is that the February 14th, Valentine's Day. Then it goes up. So, you know, we'll monitor this. We'll keep this on the radar now that things are getting interesting. This is the ABC. And this, I kind of use it two ways. One, it'll be like a timing point and also a target. So using this ABC, you can see that the last one is 424. And then the timing of that is the 14th. So we got Monday and Tuesday. So if there's a gap up and it's at 424, watch out. Because it's like too perfect. Looking at our Gartley pattern, it says no pattern, but the same thing I use this as a timing point, and it's also indicating 424. So if it gets up there and we start stalling and going sideways, then you're kind of getting a heads up. These are action and reactions lines, and so far we are above the open space here. So let's see how that plays out. Anything I'll probably watch is this angle right here, or parallel line. This is our Andrew's pitchfork, and you can see that right here, this box ended right here, and we got this nice explosion to the upside. We are above the 50%, probably kissing or head bunting the 75%, and then here is a possible target if it's really going to push higher. That's like around 435, run there 440. I think that's it. Let's go to the next clip. Okay, so we're back into our master chart. So the first thing I want to put on is the neural net, and I wanted to put this back to normal. So this is what normally neural net was forecasting down to February the 12th, and then kind of trend higher. But you know what? Sometimes you got to just flip the switch. So I inverted this. And since it looks like nat gas wants to go higher, let's see if maybe we could pick the peak for a possible turning point. And that takes us all the way to February the 12th. So this is going to be possibly, if we continue grinding sideways to higher, maybe the computer is going to get it right. Possible turning point here. So we'll see. Let's leave it inverted. Next thing is the Gann fan. As you can see, we closed higher, so this is void. We could take that out. The next one is the one I've been watching. We're above the 1x1, so that is bullish. Let's see if we could stay there. You know, we rarely stay above the 1x1. I mean, we did here. This was a good run to that. Was that the June 11th? Yeah, June 11th high. And then boom. Let's see if we could get something like this starting here. Because then that's exciting. Then things are going to start getting some Momo to the upside. But if we do this again here and go back down, then that's not good. So there's a few things I want to show you here. My two-wing wave. We're right now about to kiss, or we're actually kissing the two-wing wave right here, which is the 11th. That's a Saturday. And then the last one is the ellipse. This is more geometry. Guess what day was that? That was the 10th, but we got the explosion to the upside. Now you may ask, okay, so is this now a turn? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You had to be cautious here. There's a lot of mixed things happening. But the good thing is that we're above the 1x1 and we don't want to start grinding lower. So we want to go back and see what that 1x1 is. For the 13th, we need to stay above 393 to continue this upside. Here's another clip I have here. First off, targets to the upside using the bigger. I had to, zoom out, because now that we've violated or taken out this high of 353, nat gas is not pushing higher. So now I got to start taking bigger swings and start, not fractal, but like zooming out, I call it. So we got the last month or the last week of the month of January, be careful. There's a vector coming in. So I don't know, we're like escalating to like hit something and then on the vector turn. That remains to be seen. So just stay vigilant. Over here, there's open space here. You got 425. Nothing there. Oh, the 45 from the 1002 high of August 23rd. We're about to kiss it, or maybe just kissed it. Install. So this is what I call it the Neo, the Matrix Neo jumping off the building. And everything, a lot of stuff was lining up with Monday the 13th. So we're just warning you, it could either blow right through and continue going higher because we have catalysts with the weather, or this is all a head fake and then it turns. So be cautious because we are right at the 1x1 45-degree from the August 23rd high of 2022, $10.02. That is going to be crucial. That's the line in the sand. This is probably the most important chart right now. If anything that I showed you, this is the most important one. Let's see what else. Let's look at some channels. So far we blew through those channels right there. I have one more. And this is the one I'm watching here. These pivots. I want to see if we could get up there, and that's somewhere around 444, 443. Let's go to our last clip. Okay, so this is the last clip. This was probably has a lot to talk about, so let's not waste any time. First off, if you guys been following my channel, this is the algos forecast, and it starts with what day? The 13th. A lot is happening. You know what? I just thought about it. There was a seasonality thing I was going to show you, and I totally forgot. So, oh well. I'll probably maybe do it for Monday's open. I'll show you that. But the algo's confirming it. A lot of things are confirming it. Even the Gann technique that I'm testing confirmed this date today. So the algo is saying from here, be careful because one model is showing going down to the 8th. From here, the other one is going down to March. And then there's a bullish one on the 18th. So we do go down. You got to be careful because maybe on the 18th, you get this spike up to the 23rd. So, but this is the first one you want to pay attention to. Yep. So let's just focus on that. So I just wanted to put that out there. Next thing, let's look at our spectrum cycle. And our spectrum cycle, as you can see, some of the cycles are already pointing down. I did a composite of that, and that's what that looks like. So you guys already know that. That's just warning us that maybe there could be a turn. But so far, nat gas, as of right now, it's above the 1x1. And it looks like it wants to push higher. So let's just follow the price action. Next thing is the solar cycle. As you can see, it peaked on 12/18. And so far, it's been going down in a spiral to February the 19th. But nat gas is just grinding higher. So it looks like it's ignoring the solar cycle. It's not following it. So it's not working. Also, the cycle that I've been leaning on a lot is not working either. I call this the Gann cycle. This one bottoms out somewhere around the 23rd. And so far, nat gas is going higher. So this one so far is not working out. Let's see. We could leave the Bradley models alone. Let's look at our monthly big picture stuff. So November, December, January are very, very, very bullish. Levels you want to watch out. These are open and closes for those months. For December and January, you want to keep an eye on 362 and 366. This area right here. For some odd reason this month, if we end up below, closing the month of January below these two levels, there's a high probability that these algo forecasting and the cycles I've been showing you could play out into the future. As long as we stay above these key levels and we don't close below it, things are looking good to the upside. Now, if we close below it here, I mean, it could be also that we could just be going sideways February, you know, then that's different. But if we could just not close, if we do close below it and take out this low, 335, high probability that all these forecasts that I've had that have not been working probably could be now back in play, and that all this was a full trap than to trap them. That's just me speculating. Weekly, so far last week, last 2 weeks have been bullish, so that's good. And then lastly, let's look at our natural cycles. So we'll start off annual. You can see that it's down. Fast annual, that's 3 years worth of data, still pointing down. That gas is going higher. Midpoint, that's 6 years worth of data. Here it kind of peaks, so this one could be maybe in play. Like I said, 6 year worth of data, still pushing down lower, but that gas is going higher. Annual decimal finds a low somewhere around the 14, which could probably be an inverse when you want to look at it backwards like that. But, you know, nothing to go crazy about. So far, like I said, I'm gonna recap this. I want you to get this ingrained. A lot of the natural cycles and everything I'm following show bearish into February. Now, if we close below for the month of January, below these levels and this level, chances are this could play out. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to repeat it again. Let's get all these out. And now let's look at one again's technique. He says, look at 10 years in the past. And so far, there's a pivot low here. And then the 14. 10 years ago, we made a high on the 14th. And then went down to the 6th of February. So keep that in mind. That was the price action 10 years ago. Let's look at 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we made a high somewhere around the 17th. So 13, the date I just showed you, 14, and you could say 17. You could say 17 because 18 is a Saturday. And then it kind of went grinding sideways to lower, and it made a low around the 22nd. So keep that in mind also as we're pushing higher. Not to bust the bubble for the bulls, but you always have to keep an open mind. I think that's it. So there you go. You got all the data you need to help you navigate this week. The most important thing is that we are about to already kissed the 1 by 1 from the August 23rd, 1002 high, 2022. And we are above the 1 by 1 from the February 20 low of 152. The question is, are we going to push higher this week, or are we going to tank? I showed you evidence for both. You're bull or bear, that's on you. Just put your stops, and if you don't trigger the stops, then may the force be with you. I'm going to sign out. Hopefully you like this video. I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on that, guys.